Welcome to the locdnpod.
We're your hosts,
Mina
and Shelly, here to bring you the conversations you didn't know you needed.
If you're ready to dive deep into unapologetic authenticity, you're in the right place.
But fair warning, if you're not here to be real and embrace your truth, this might not be the vibe for you.
We're on a mission to elevate our personal growth journeys through faith, breaking generational curses, and holding ourselves accountable.
So, if you're looking to surround yourself with positive energy and find tools to help you level up, lock in with us. If y'all are watching, y'all would have been vibing out with us already. But if you're not, head over to YouTube and subscribe so you can vibe up with us with the visuals, okay? But without further ado, welcome back to another episode of the locdnpod. I am Menagerie, or as you may know if you've been here a few times, Mina.
And I'm Michelle, but y'all know me as Shelly. And this is the locdnpod. Welcome back. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. I just feel like lately I've had so much more to be like appreciative of, even in the simplest things. I'm like, life is not where I want it to be. It's not at the final destination points in each area, but I'm thankful. I'm very thankful. I'm very, very thankful. I'm thankful for those who may be new here. You know, if you're joining in the Locked In community, this is your first time, welcome. We love growing here. If you're returning, we told you that was going to happen. We did.
What did we say?
We said it.
Didn't we say
Shelly,
it?
to be exact. She said it. She said you're going to be back. So thank y'all. We're thankful.
Yeah.
That's what today's all about. Just giving thanks. Giving thanks.
I felt the same way. Like this Thanksgiving, I don't know if this was a like universal thing, or a universal theme, but it felt so much lighter this Thanksgiving compared to like me and my siblings were saying the same thing all night. Like we haven't had a Thanksgiving that felt this good in a very long time. So this year felt so much lighter. There was so much more love and like positive energy in the air. It was overall such a good time. Yes. Like it was nice to just enjoy. And I feel like there's very little moments that allow you to really be present and enjoy what is happening and around who you're sharing the moment with. So yeah, it was one of those moments. I was like, wow, like to think, you know, I thought this was my favorite holiday because of the food. I mean, it still is.
Still is.
Still
okay?
Number one, okay?
Still the first reason. But
it's something about just gathering, like, with your people. Like, on, regardless of what level they're on. Like, people that you share, like, that level of intimacy. Like, it's so needed. It's so important. And
it is.
It made me feel like, wow. Like, it made me feel grateful. It made me feel blessed. It made me just really appreciate, like, being able to experience that in present time.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a memory from 5 years ago or something that I've never been able to experience. So it was nice. Yeah. I felt very, very blessed.
It's those like little tokens of joy.
Literally.
Like this was the first Thanksgiving that I've worked, because usually I don't work on those days because corporate settings close on holidays like Thanksgiving. So it was the first one that I worked. That was new. But I didn't work the whole day. So I was like, you know what? I got to have the best of both worlds. I got to make some coin. And I love to cook. So being able to do that as a career now, it's like, well, it's just something I love to do. And I just happen to be getting paid for it. And I love that. So going in and being able to cook and have a hand in like what was feeding somebody else in their family, it made me thankful. It made me grateful. It made me appreciative. And I found myself like even praying as I was like making the food. Like, God, whoever eats this, whoever's, you know, body needs this nourishment, like let it be what they need. Let them feel the love. Yeah. Like it just, oh my gosh, it was such
the first time you told me you did that, praying over the food, I was like, That's so nice. I could only hope the person making my food when I go out to eat is just putting love, even if they're not praying over the food, but just like their energy while they're preparing the food. Yeah, like the extra effort to be like, okay, I know it's gonna matter, like, or I know, like, you care about the outcome and like the feedback that you're gonna receive.
It's so important. I feel like everybody shouldn't cook for those same reasons. Like, somebody's literally consuming something that you've touched and you have like been a part of. So I don't take that lightly. That was cool. I feel like my Thanksgiving plans originally were supposed to be spent with somebody that I'm no longer connected to. So I had to readjust and pivot a little bit, but I still got to be around some love. I still got to eat some really good food. I got to feel that sense of family, and that's all that I wanted, and that's all that day means to me. Like, I feel like the biggest thing is having grown up in a household where my family, where I lived with my grandparents, we were all like the flagship location. So every holiday was there. So being an adult now and that not being my reality, it's a little different. Like, I'm still trying to find it. You know, like that thing, like, I'm finding it. I'm finding it, and I'm finding the like pockets of joy that make me feel the best. Like, we're going to have a Friendsgiving soon. Those things mean a lot to me. And I'm just learning to reshape what it is family is and what it looks like, what it feels like, and making memories for me. Like, it doesn't have to be, yes, it's different, but it doesn't have to feel like a rough grieving process. You're grieving it, or I'm grieving it, I should say, but it's not rough anymore. It's like, it's okay. You have other things that you can fill with those voids and create what you want for yourself. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful for what this Thanksgiving felt like. It was different. It did, like, the atmosphere felt different. It was just like such an amazing day.
Yeah, I think it's a lot to do with what you said, though, like making the decision to make the holiday, to make the most out of what it is, right? Because I feel like, you know, looking back, the reason why our Thanksgiving hasn't, or our holidays really hasn't looked the same in a long time is because my family experienced a lot of changes.
Yeah, girl.
It was like, you know, the death of my grandfather many years ago, and the cousins that would come around having their own kids and starting their own traditions and moving out of the city. So it's like even harder for them to come down and visit. And so when our location no longer was the flagship location, it was like, dang,
we're not really doing it. It was a long process, because I feel like I transitioned from that flagship household thing that I described into something different. Like, it became primarily spending holidays with my dad's wife, my stepmother's like family, and that dynamic was different because those are not people that I have grown up around. So adapting to that, and I started to be like, oh, this is not like what my family's, you know, this is not what I'm used to. So it was like different stages. And it's funny you said they started when your grandfather died, because it started when my grandmother passed away, then my grandfather passed away, and after that it was like, well, I guess we're not going to revisit what that looks like, but I'm praying that stops with me. Like, when I do have the means to invite everybody, whether that's catering or me cooking with a team, whatever that looks like, I want to recreate that for myself with those that I love. It doesn't just have to be my family, but it's just
it's on us, for real. We the new adults.
It's a new task, y'all.
How we got here so fast.
Do it potluck style. We don't have to take on like what our parents used to do and do everything.
Yeah,
we ain't gotta do that, because oh baby, anybody got time.
I know one person making everything. Like, you come in with a plate, you're
old
enough now.
Yep.
I know you got kids. You making something at home. So put them skills to use.
In the kitchen.
It could be anything. Like, come on.
Let's go.
And that's what happened this year. Like, there were more contributions. So I'm like, oh, y'all showing out this year.
I love that.
We never have desserts. We had desserts, different types of rice, different meats. I said, wow. I took a video. I said, look at us. Yeah. And we played games. Like, I don't know. I think because it literally was left up to us, and we were waiting for some type of guidance. We were just like,
let's
you know
just
what?
Do it our way.
Yeah. This is what we're gonna do.
that sounds like a vibe. I don't know. Well, this is something that we have spoken about amongst ourselves, but we might have to pull out a little locked in Friendsgiving the next Thanksgiving. So you might have to be on the lookout if we make that something that's open to our supporters, our locked in community. That would be dope. If y'all would like a locked in Friendsgiving,
that would be so
dope. Write it in the comments. We could do a potluck style.
Yep.
Don't play.
When we drop that BYOE, bring your own everything.
When we drop that link, make sure you tap in, lock
open
in.
to everybody. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Plan in advance. Don't say you didn't know.
Okay?
Don't say you didn't know.
Next Thanksgiving. Don't say we didn't tell you.
Mark it. Write it down.
And that can be like a bit of a celebration for us as well, just because of all of the feedback that we've been getting.
Oh my God.
About this lovely venture right here, y'all. It has been like, it's not to say that we didn't expect it, but in the ways that the support is coming in the like genuineness from the people that I don't want to say least expected, but your family and friends directly are usually not the people that support your entrepreneurial ventures or your business ventures, even though that needs to change because that makes no sense. It's something that we were just like, okay, the people that gravitate toward us, but to see it being people that we know in real life and they can like, resonate. It's so dope.
Like you really like it.
It's so dope.
And even in the moments like during Thanksgiving, getting feedback from like my cousin, my sister-in-law, it was like, you really thought about that right now, like in this moment? That's what popped into your head.
The pod. Yes, my sister saying that. Then some of my coworkers at work using some of
my coworkers
don't drop the L's in conversation. I'm like, look at y'all referencing.
Like, oh yeah, fuck with us. All right.
It feels so good, guys.
It really does.
It feels so good, and it's a reminder to never allow what you think you cannot accomplish or what you think is not possible to stop you from doing the things that are on your heart. Like if we talked about this and it was just a conversation and we left it dormant, it would not be what you have in front of you right now. And we don't know where God is going to take this podcast. We don't know what he's going to do with this platform, but we are just simply saying, hey, we know that you put this on our heart. Sorry. Okay. We know that we are vessels and you called us for something and we're creating the space. So if we can encourage you guys, like don't let any of that imposter syndrome stop you from just doing it. Like do it. Do it. Really do it. Put your mind to it. Write a checklist, how you need to get it done, what steps need to happen. And if you need to take in increments, and little by little watch it unfold. I'm always an advocate for your passion is your passion for a reason. Explore it. Figure it out. Don't let so what 10 other people have candle businesses. You like making them too. Make them how you would make them, because that's not going to be the same way she would make them. Right. You have a podcast because you like to talk about food. That's different from what we are talking about here. Do it because that's what you want to do. So I'm appreciative and I'm thankful for us not just letting it be a conversation and then rushing it to the side. We saw it through. We're still figuring it out.
It's so easy to be talked out of your spot, especially by your own thoughts. Like there's so many thoughts that run through our heads a day, and not all of them are positive thoughts. So it's so easy to get an idea or something sparks something in you creatively, and as you're going to accomplish or do said task, it's like, well, I don't know. People don't really know me for that, or who's actually going to listen? Like, is this really good advice? Or, are people even going to care about me talking about a life challenge that I overcame last week? It's all these thoughts that it's like, baby, nobody is thinking
that deep.
Nobody is thinking that.
You are thinking that deep. You're
nobody even told you that. Because if you ask yourself, like, where did I get this idea from? It wasn't said by nobody but you. But you. So, like, anything that comes to mind, anything that keeps, like, calling you, like, for some reason, like, it doesn't matter how long you go without it, how far you go distance-wise, like, if there's something that you want to do, like you said, do it.
Just do it.
Like Nike, their logo is so extraordinary because it's just so simple to the point.
Do it.
Whatever
and if you
that
own a
is.
pair of Nikes, you should really be following that because you've already manifested that on your feet,
literally,
of the times, on your sweater, whatever. Do it. Just do it. And I know you may say, "But how? I may not have the time. I'm a mom. I'm a this. I'm a that." People make time for what they want to make time for. Let me explain that to y'all, okay? The pastor today, we tuned into church virtually, and he was talking about his fast for social media that's coming up. And with us in this platform, it may be a little difficult, but I feel like maybe we can navigate a version of it and see what happens. But understanding that we have to step away from social media at times to like undo what we think we're supposed to be doing and just tap into what reality is. And that's how you begin to peel away and carve out that time to be like, oh, I'm actually not on social media for this amount of time. I could take an hour and do a little workout routine, another hour to meal prep, and maybe one more hour to do my nighttime routine, and give yourself a facial, pour a little deeper into yourself. You can do it. So that's the same thing when it comes to business ventures. That's the same thing when it comes to starting a podcast, a clothing line, whatever. You got to do a
anything.
Figure it out.
Everything has a start, a middle, and an end.
Yes. And sometimes it may not even be an end, a continuation. A start, a middle, and into a flow.
Or into something else. That's a new beginning, a new middle.
So please, guys, whatever you do, lock in with the things that, like Shelly said, have been tugging on you. And if you don't know where to start, this is something we always are going to advocate for. Pray about it.
Yeah.
Bring it before him in prayer.
Yeah.
Ask him.
The biggest thing is to be able to move in faith, because having that, believing in yourself, is having the faith that you're able to do it, that you will have the resources even though you don't have them right now. And honestly, y'all, preparing for something little by little, the time is going to make itself. You'd be surprised things that happen. Like, I can say that I don't have time, not having a full-time job right now, but there was a point in time where I was working 2 full-time jobs, a part-time on the weekends, in school full-time. I had a full-time internship and still was a part of clubs after, if on some weeknights, dance, step, whatever it was. Like, I still made it to the parties on the weekends. So for me to tell myself now that I don't have time, when I'm not even doing half the things that I was doing when I was in college, like, it's like, all right, you really got to look at yourself, and it's like, do you not have the time, or are you not willing to make the time?
That's the one. If you're not willing to make the time, it's not going to happen. You have to be diligent in order to see things through. Like, what was that? You showed me something today. Like, Kendrick Lamar wasn't a better rapper rich than he was poor. He just kept going.
Like, Kevin Hart wasn't funnier now than he was when he first started. Like,
he just kept going.
They all built their catalog. They built their catalog, so that way you can see the consistency, you can see the improvements, but you can see that it's always been the same person from the beginning.
Yep. So you've always been it. He,
him,
her, she, them, they, whoever you want to identify by.
It's always been you.
It's
in you now. You don't have to wait until you get thousands of dollars. You don't have to wait until all of your friends support you and repost your event, your flyer, whatever the case may be. Do it now. You have it now. It's in you now. And the people that you need to network, the people that you need as a following, the people that you need to share on their story, because somebody, you don't even know what network, what industry follows them or views their story, who's interning for who. Whoever's meant to see it is going to see it.
You're one decision away from your life changing drastically. One decision, literally.
You only need to be right one time.
One time. And that could be, imagine if you have 7, 8, 9, 10 passions and you're inching at each one of them and you keep going. That pattern of getting it right may happen one after the other. Now you got 9 in a row. Bing, 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 bing. I think didn't stop.
Tabitha Brown recently posted something like, your life can go from, she shared a testimony and was like, how her life a few years ago, she was driving Ubers, and now she's flying in private jets, like getting flown out, paid to speak, to tell her story, to do all types of events. And she was like, your life can go from like literally 0 to 100 in like overnight. Well, feels like overnight.
But okay.
What feels like overnight.
It happens so quickly. Life changes super quickly. So remain humble, remain consistent, remain disciplined. Your choices, what you did 3 to 5 years ago is affecting you at this moment, whatever that looks like for you personally. Think about the next 3 to 5 years. Think about what you're doing in this moment. I want this, but are you doing anything that gets you toward that? And if the answer is no, then you really don't want it. Or if you do, fix it to get there.
Do things for your future self because you know it's going to benefit you then.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's always been you. If you take nothing else from today, always been you. You've always been it. Always been
it right now.
Yep.
You don't have to wait for nothing to take place for you to succeed. And success looks like X out the monetary or the materialistic things. Like, build another definition of success. I was watching a sermon today, and the pastor was saying, like, what if instead of putting down a house on your vision board, a car on your vision board, $10,000 in your savings on your vision board, you put like the principles of, I don't want to misquote, but I think the principles of the Holy Spirit, like love, patience, kindness, like self-control,
the gifts of the Spirit.
Yes. Yep. Like imagine how much fruitful your life will be because you're literally focused on.
Yep. And that's another thing. You can't keep avoiding what you need to fix or what's hurting you or what is wounding you or what is keeping you stagnant. That also takes some shedding, some work there in order for you to get toward those things. You're not going to be rewarded with more if you don't even get together what you have now. So something I like to say is being a good steward of your things, and you are a part of those things. You got to be a good steward of you. So taking the time to figure out what you need to figure out.
Yeah, because it doesn't go away.
No.
It doesn't go away. I used to tell myself that all the time in school. Like when I would procrastinate on certain stuff, I had to come to a point where I had to be like, Michelle, not doing it now is not making it go away. You still have to do it. But so now, get it done. At the point that I'm choosing to do it, now not only do I have that one thing to do, I also have 2-3 other things because I waited so long. And now those other things are due soon. So it's like, it just adds to your stress.
To your plate.
You don't need to do that.
Get it done. And I guess we're now segueing into takeaways. We like to give you some takeaways because we can't just be talking about these things and not give you the tools that we use. So habit stacking, something that you helped me realize that I do already.
It is so helpful.
And that I want to continue to do. Do something that you need to do along with something that you want to do. So you can knock them out. Like if you don't like meal prep while you watch your favorite episode of Martin or listen to an episode of the Locdnpod while you do it. Okay. But habit stacking, that's a takeaway that I want to provide for our Loc'd community. Do that. Habit stack. It helps you be efficient and responsible at the same time.
Wow. I was not prepared for me.
That is okay. It was a nice little segue though. It's okay. Take your time, friend.
What would I say? Well, given the topics and just like realizing how something that seems so simple can actually make a bigger impact than you realize. Just as an example, us just starting this podcast, this is us just simply deciding we were gonna share, right, with more people, or just share, period, because we don't know who's gonna
reach,
whose phone is gonna land on, who's gonna get the link. Like we don't know. But not to don't let you trick you out of your own spot. Like imposter syndrome is a real thing, is a thing that happens. I've even experienced moments where after I complete if people come up to me and be like, oh my God, you've done so much, and just giving me my flowers, I used to say, I've experienced moments where I didn't feel like the thing that I completed was that big
or that
serious.
What I mean?
Like, yeah, I did that, but that doesn't mean that I'm qualified for whatever the case may be. So it can happen before the fact and after the fact, but no, it would not fall on your lap if it was not meant to be for you.
Yep.
Things that's meant for you will find you.
It will always find you.
And it's gonna find you, regardless if you feel like you're ready. The reason why it's falling on your lap is because it's meant to happen. Like that's where you're meant to be. That's where you're meant to grow.
Meant to be. It's meant to be.
So recognize imposter syndrome happens, and it can happen to any one of us. But know that him, her is in you. You're already it. You already that girl.
Okay.
That
girl.
Man.
That
okay.
Man, or that king. That queen. However you want to categorize it. Okay.
It's all about you.
It's all about you. So lock in.
Act like the main character that you are.
Every time.
Okay.
So, with that being said, again, thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of the Loc'd Pod. Okay? If this is your first time, we hope that you got something out of today's episode, whether you're tuning in on the audio platform or you're tuning in on the visual platform.
On YouTube.
Okay,
and if you're on the audio, check out the YouTube audio. Drop in at 7 p.m. Wednesdays. Visuals on YouTube drop in 7 p.m. on Thursdays. We'll see you there every week.
We got some things brewing for you. We're really excited to share more and to just grow together. That's literally what this is, just a journey of growth. We're taking you along the way. Patreon is where we're going to get a little more intimate.
So make sure you start subscribing.
If you want to get a little more intimate and really get to know us differently, and we're going to be showing you some cool things. So make sure you get that Patreon subscription secured.
Come on over, baby.
Because you're not going to want to miss what we coming with.
Yes.
So, anyway, we love you guys.
Love you.
We appreciate you. We are thankful in the spirit of giving thanks. Make sure you recognize what you're thankful for.
Yes.
Don't take anything for granted. Remain humble. And most of all, stay locked in.
And if you like this episode, share with a friend, a loved one, a coworker, an associate.
Comment. Talk to us. We like to talk.
You're not
to
talking.
Me.
What's up?
I talk back.
Okay. I talk that.
Somebody commented, and I don't know if it was, we don't really know the person. We didn't look into the page, but they asked, like, what is a purpose partner per, like, a reel or a YouTube short that we posted. And we love things like that. We had to sit and, like, you know what does that mean to us?
Yeah, have us thinking. So we appreciate that.
Talk to us. We are on, Shelly helped y'all out with the Threads thing, y'all. So we on Threads. We're going to start sharing some thoughts on Threads.
Yeah. So talk to us.
We'll see you in the next episode.
It looks like that's a wrap on today's episode of the Loc'd Pod.
We appreciate you for being a part of our journeys and taking us along on yours. Make sure you hit us up on all our platforms: Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, and TikTok. We want you in our community.
Remember, we drop new episodes every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Set those reminders and turn those post notifications on.
And don't sleep on us. Stay locked in with us in the comments. We want to hear your thoughts and stories.
Until next time, keep it unapologetic and authentic.